Oops, you have to put the CD in your computer.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bionicle Speedrun Shitshow. We actually have our name figured out this time, so that's quite the help. I'm one of the main hosts, Footloose, followed by
Andrik, and I'm also one of the main hosts, as well as
Milkblade.
And I am Andre.
I'm just
hey, we still do better than last time, so
Yeah.
we take those.
we're truly doing our name justice, and I would like to say at this point, thank you a lot for the, I guess, turnout on episode 0. So this is episode 1. And as of now, episode 0 is the most viewed video on the Bionicle Speedruns YouTube channel. And we got a lot of feedback from everyone saying how they liked it. So, yeah, we are doing another one.
Back, baby.
Yep.
And this time we are covering reflections and thoughts on BIONIThon 2022.
Yay.
Which we actually have evidence for this time. Holy fuck.
Oh my
We have
god.
VODs!
Yes.
We have VODs!
Hold on, let me repost the schedule so that we
Plates
can...
meme be damned.
Yep. Well, let me repost the meme into the text voice chat. Or no, not the meme, the schedule into the text voice chat so we can all see it. I think we can just do the same thing as we did in the last episode and just talk about how things were like leading up to the run and then leading up to the event, and then talk us through the runs as they happened in order. What do you think?
Two obligatory mentions. Obviously Heroes on top, but also Heroes also naturally was close to getting cut again.
Yeah. So for some people obviously
did get a cut.
Yeah, some people obviously know this, but the original plan was that I would run Heroes 100%. I did that entirely. I had that plan entirely of my own volition, because I thought that I potentially had the potential to take the record, and I also thought that it would be really funny. Also,
yeah, you had that idea, and then you came down off of the hard drugs and back to reality.
Basically, it was mostly.
No, I shut him down. He was threatening my throne. I was like, frig it, he's not doing it. Also, I'm gonna do it. We're past like 15, 20, 25 seconds. Fuck.
We say
swearing is on the table.
We say our name literally at the start.
That was your second one.
We literally have a swear word in the name of the podcast, so...
Oh, true.
We're gonna have to fill in like 15 seconds of static or some random like Lego game intro.
Don't worry, I'll just do more Bionicle impressions. That'll work.
Put in the Infomaniac going, whoops!
Oops, you have to put
You
the
gotta put
CD
this
in your computer. Yeah.
Slip that for like 15, 20 seconds. That's funny.
Alright.
I forgot about that. And I don't actually remember how I did the intro, so shoot, maybe we did get away with it. Barely.
But yeah, so yeah, what I wanted to say is then the reason why I actually wanted Heroes 100% is because for whatever reason, in spite of the promotion that we did for the event on 8/10 and getting our signups started so much earlier than last year, where we had like barely a month of time, we literally just gave people like, what, 3 months or what was it? I don't remember.
Yeah. I think no, we had signups.
Yeah.
Open from like
We had signups open on 8/10
all the way up till November 18th or something like that.
Yeah. So there was, and in spite of that, the marathon was very like dry, you would say. I don't know. It had few runs until like very late.
We had very few people like actually lock in until like late November or like mid-November, pretty much.
And so that was one thing that I thought of, that I just said like outright, like if there aren't enough submissions, then I will put in Heroes 100%, and if the people will it, if the people want the show, there shall be a show.
I forgot we were threatening the community with the presence of 100%. Because that's all it was. It's like, if y'all don't show up, we're putting 100% in this damn marathon.
I mean, I thought that it would also have like the opposite effect, that no one would submit just so they would see me suffer.
I don't think people like it 100% nearly as much as you think they do.
It's all fun and games until you're in VZOC for the 5th time that day.
No kidding. But yeah, I think that I don't know if 100% will ever be like marathon viable because it's just so long. And
Yeah.
like,
What is the
know.
longest game that has ever been run at GDQ? It's
I
actually
have
like
no idea.
Good question.
And somehow I feel like it's an RPG of some kind.
That's what I want to say. It's of like a Persona game or something. A 25-hour speed run.
Okay, there are a lot of people asking this on.
Honestly, good luck finding that answer, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, Heroes went pretty well. You got a PB out of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it ultimately was fine. Specifically because I set my estimate to be insanely high because I basically didn't practice at all.
Oh, right. Yeah, because coming out of Heroes, we were like 30 minutes ahead, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Last year, we were so far behind by the time that we got through, like, Masks of Power Legacy.
Yeah, last year, the Heroes was, like, finished pretty much
The
bang on
only
time.
thing- The only thing that went on time.
Yeah.
And then things just started falling apart.
Yeah, and that's also why I just gave that cushion to everyone else. So
Yeah.
we just had that time there. And yeah, again, honestly, I'm still surprised at some of the things that I did. I think I got like the VZOC free wrong jump first try without a setup.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got the golden construction skip that only I can do, apparently.
Yeah, no, I don't use it. Don't need it. Don't need it. There's a lot of dumb things about Heroes that just not worth it. Both of your golden construction skips, especially, just I don't know. Starting to lack faith in the actual benefit of doing the Redac 1.
Okay.
The Desert Outpost GC3 skip, actually.
Oh, right.
Like, because you still have to get hero mode and stuff before the fight. I don't know if it actually saves any time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just
Didn't
checked
someone
this.
lose a run for that trick too, like really like mid to late game. Because someone got like soft locked in that, I think. Or was that 100%?
I know back in the day I used to get soft locked in Axon all the time. Because I was a big dummy and didn't realize I had to burn hero mode as soon as they gave me the pieces, or as soon as they gave me the golden construction.
Right.
Which, by the way, in case you didn't know, if you don't use hero mode immediately,
Also, I did.
The game gives you those pieces. He'll still drop his shield up until he gets to 2 hearts, and then he'll never drop his shield again. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So I just checked. Apparently, at Games Done Quick 2019, there was a Final Fantasy IX run in 9 hours 29 minutes.
I would do it.
Called it.
So
RPGs
yeah,
coming in.
theoretically, you could run Heroes 100% at Games Done Quick, and it wouldn't even be the longest run. And yeah,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I shouldn't throw this in, but I'm going to because it's culturally relevant at the moment. Fucking Germa playing Heroes, dude. I'm mad.
Every copy of Heroes is personalized, and Germa's just fucking does that.
I was so happy.
Burns in his screen.
I popped in there and I'm just like, oh, it says he's playing retro stuff. I wonder what he's playing right now. I see him losing to Kurak in the Rakshi level in Fox World, and I'm like, I have so many questions. How? He had like 3 masks left, and I'm like, you beautiful son of a bitch. How are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I love it. Play more Bionicle games.
The one freaking time I'm busy. Some big ass streamer is like, all right, let's play some heroes.
Oh yeah, I do remember because it's because I have followed all of the categories for every Bionicle game on Twitch. So if anyone streams it, I will see it. And I saw like it was like 2 a.m. I think it was the day before Germo was playing it. It was just some random streamer, and I just popped in. I gave the link to Footloose, gave it to Nalpo. They all also popped in, and we were like having a lot of fun.
Everybody else dipped, and I stayed till the end of that stream. I did. I'm dead
Yeah.
serious. Like, he finished the game
Damn.
and then went to show his game, which I had never heard of, but it looks all right.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to stay until the end, but at the end but when I said I was going to bed, it was like 3 a.m. and I was already feeling myself basically falling asleep. So I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm off to bed.
That'll do it, honestly.
Yeah, and I even remember like before when there was this one German streamer streaming Heroes.
Yeah.
And I was just there almost live
Tuesday.
interpreting. Yep.
I meant to send it to you, but I didn't. I was like busy and didn't get to it at the time. But I saw someone whose like category was BTG, but it was actually Lawman.
Oh.
That gets
A while ago.
confused. A weird amount, honestly, that I've seen.
Honestly, I just use a BTG for Lawman because Lawman doesn't have a category on Twitch, and I should probably get back to like actually making it a category, but I just need to like give them an essay on like the game was found, and yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when it was never officially released.
Yeah. Because that was something, because I said, like, before, yeah, the game was found in 2018 and can be freely downloaded. And I got, like, a different message, was like, yeah, is this a fan-made re-release, or what is this? And then I didn't respond because I didn't know, because you don't get any fucking notifications for that, and they removed it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't see anyone playing Lawman, so I would really like the link to that, thank you.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. It was a VTuber.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I don't think it was in English either.
Right. But yeah, to move on with the actual schedule. So after Bionicle Heroes came Masks of Power Legacy by Sir Exelon.
That was a fun run.
Masks of Power went really well too.
That was a fun run to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was really nice to just watch a completely new run, but I honestly don't know if Masks of Power is really that great unifier that Footloose says it is. I see why people would run that, but I don't really have a lot of interest.
It could be if you weren't so stubborn.
Oh,
I would enjoy running it. It's just that I want to. I feel like I'm saving myself for the new
2.0,
Mass
yeah.
because I want to save that grind set, and I don't want to go. Oh, I want to, because I know the moment that I buckle down and learn another game from BTG, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, Matt's power's out. It's like, oh well, son of a bitch. All right, well, all right, let's do this process again. Let's reinvigorate myself, remotivate, and then recenter on a whole new game and do something very different.
No, yeah, had things worked out the way that I had initially planned for them to, Mask of Power Legacy definitely would have been the great unifier. But 2021 BIONIThon being the way that it was kind of shot it in the foot.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like, this Masks of Power Legacy has probably had the most development over the last year.
Oh yeah,
in
Oh,
comparison
yeah.
to like
Yeah.
every Bionicle game, which,
Yeah,
like, granted,
absolutely.
most of them are basically solved. Let's be real. Heroes and BTG, I feel like, are pretty darn close to just being
But there was,
fully
like,
figured out at this point.
Massive Power this past year had like it was probably I might be over the time, but it was like a month, if not a little more, of like a renaissance. It got like
Yeah.
a full on like everybody was running it.
Oh yeah, the
Mhm.
And I
time
was
went
like,
down
I am
so
not
fast.
jumping
Like,
on this, but it was crazy. Like watching some
was
of
crazy.
some like random like Kagama's runs. It's like, damn, this game is
Yeah, I was gonna bring them up.
weird.
They fucking crushed that shit.
I basically
Yeah.
stepped
Damn.
in, and I stepped in to that other Bionicle podcast that Roaring Tube and his group was doing at the time.
Oh yeah.
And they were like pressuring me in real time to like run the game. I was like, all right, fuck it. I mean, maybe we'll see. And I'm like, I boot up the game, like practicing the Tahoe Gold %, and I beat it like the first try. I actually turned the timer on. I got like a freaking 7-0 something or whatever. I don't remember what it is anymore. But yeah, after that, I was already like interested in the game, and I found the mass duplication glitch, and that was the end. That was the end for Masks of Power Legacy, because when they had that, that's like when Rin really got interested in any %. And then Sir Exelon took any % no mass duping and pushed its meta basically into the ground as well. And then also somebody finally did any % unrestricted, which is the 2-second category.
I love
Yep.
that one.
God.
Finally,
So
we
funny.
have Voyanui online game in the Masks of Power.
It's actually kind of funny.
Hey, don't just joke like that.
I
True.
can't even laugh at Voyanui anymore. It's like it drained my soul.
just
I can't even
pain.
laugh at it. It just
It is
hurts.
just bringing back memories of physical pain.
Voyanui, literally the command for that game, it straight up says on my channel, it's Voyanui on the game is like someone getting hit with a rotten egg. It's really funny until you're the one smelling like shit.
That is an
This is
apt
true.
comparison. True.
That is
true.
It's
true.
exactly what Voyanui online game is,
Right.
and I hate it.
I'm happy to see Rin. Speaking of Rin, by the way, I'm happy to see Rin taking a huge liking to Heroes now that they've actually tried it. I don't know if any of y'all
Yeah.
caught that.
A little
did
bit.
too,
I caught a bit of it. I again, I
Ren was
dread
like-
I dread the day that they pick up Lawman. But
Rin rolled up on Heroes is like, holy shit, this is actually a lot more fun than it looks from the outside, because it's like you're just always micromanaging the game
right.
at all times, and it's always like micro optimizations and just I don't know, but it actually
And
kind of
this whole thing is
to see the
this whole
180
thing
in
is just
the
the
opinion.
movement.
Yeah. Between Heroes' movement and like optimal piece grinding and stuff like that, like there's always room for improvement. Like there will always be a better grind that you can do. And like it's never the same either, because the RNG can either just completely screw you or just be goated out of nowhere for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
But personally, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was cool. And then now we've got all these like we've got 10 people lining up to start to run this game, dude. Like insane. There are so many people with their eyeballs on this game now that sub 3 has happened that like
Yeah.
I know I was
I'm on it too.
previously yeah, no, we freaking bullied Andre into it. I don't know what the hell happened. But like
I mean, you're gonna get me in there, just not the right way. I'm gonna play the game any % with the
Not
Wii
yet.
Zapper and see what time that
Jesus
can happen.
Christ.
I knew you could get sub 3 hour though, man. I've been rooting for you for a while now for that. I kept on saying you're gonna get it. It's happening.
Yeah, can we talk about how huge that is? Like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh my
Dude,
god. Yeah,
I just
the
had to
sub
throw
3.
myself at it.
It's
I literally had to do the wall grind, but in Heroes.
yeah. It's
And that's
basically
that's the analogy.
yeah. It's just the same as I would say it's pretty much as significant as the sub 1 in Legend of Naranui, where it's just I also just knew that I had to do it, and so I did.
It's just a matter of like you just gotta go at it. Because like it's possible. You're gonna do it eventually.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like
exactly.
it's not a question. It's like an inevitability. You
Yes.
just
Oh yeah.
have to put in the time. And holy fuck, did I! I think I have like 130 attempts in any percent now.
Damn.
Just added a flat 100
Yeah.
attempting to go from
Damn.
serial 152 to sub 3.
But I think it was worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Any percent can definitely still go down, but I ain't touching that shit for a long ass time.
Oh, I feel that. Oh my god.
I'm so good. Like, I'll let somebody else come in and like start getting close, and then I'll go after it. But I got time.
Yeah.
I got
honestly,
time.
yeah, I feel like I should really like get back to actually like properly running my game, because it can definitely see a lot of improvement if I just look at my live split, and especially if I can pull off like the trick in Kupaka's level. Where I remember where I talked like, 55 is like maybe TAS, but now my PB is 56 minutes 15. And if I can pull off this trick, I calculated I would save like 5 minutes extra. So sub 50 is like possible. And I just gotta do it.
It's crazy to see where these games go over time once you like, or like not even just the games themselves, but like the opinions of the runners throughout the years. Like,
Yeah.
when I started
yeah.
running Heroes, getting into the 3-hour range was like an S tier run. There were like a whole 2 players that had done it at the time, and now we've like chopped an entire extra hour off in the 5 years. That
Yeah.
it's just like,
Chopping an hour off again like that's crazy.
Yeah, really,
too.
the same thing happened to Lawman, where it was at the start, I thought like, because my first runs were like an hour 49, an hour 45, and I was like,
Yeah.
sub 90 is gonna be a goated run, and I did that, and I was just like, yes, sub 90 is real, and then now Rebuilt is pretty much sub 90, and I remember even in the chat I say like, shoutouts to me saying human limit is for Rebuilt is 1 hour 25, and I got a run which was 1 hour 20 minutes and 1 second.
Also, I definitely think that sub 3 has finally beat out what I previously considered was my greatest achievement in Heroes so far, and that was getting 324 on controller. Because playing Heroes on controller is like 60 times harder than keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
So getting a good time is just, it's dumb.
Yeah,
And I will mention, I think the margins between the two are pretty fucking slim in terms of like how far sub 3 beats out the 324 on controller.
Right.
Personally.
I'm thinking on you're saying some of the like the achievements and some of the burnout as well of like, all right, we've done stuff, let's just take a moment. That kind of happened a few times this past year. Like we got I know something I was kind of like towards the end of the year there, but it still kind of counts too. But we look at some of the achievements here, like was Lawman sub-houred this past year?
I
Or
think
is
it
my sense of
was, yeah,
time
it says like,
destroyed?
it says the stream
I
was
think
8 months
so.
ago, yeah.
Which is crazy because think about it, like we had all those huge achievements across these whole games. We got sub-hour in Lawman, we got sub-3 in Heroes, we got another minute barrier busted down. Actually, I think I did 2. I want to say I did 2
I think you did
last
too as
year.
well.
Was that
yeah.
that was the 38 and the 37 that happened
Yeah.
last year as well. So there was some,
quick
38, and then we'll play some Halo.
yeah, and then I got wasted and played Halo Reach Lasso. That was still one of the better
We still
pop-offs.
need
And
to
that
play
and
Reach
Yes.
co-op, dude.
What?
bro, Reach Lasso broke me. I couldn't get through that fight like third
That's
level.
That's why
I've
it's
done it
even
once, I'll
funnier
do it
when
again.
you have 4 people.
I got
yeah, I'll do it
like
again.
soft locked in the spaceship because I didn't have like the rocket launcher and I hated myself. But that's Halo. But
Yeah.
but like we would get those things, we
Understand.
would grind so hard for it, and then with I think everybody was just like, ooh, okay, let's take a hot moment to stop. Because I know I took it. I'm back. I'm kind of grinding a bit more now. I'm back like to kind of de-rusting a little bit after like kind of a month-ish sort of break because I'm BIONIThon. But I was
Yeah.
like, I need a moment because I ground for 37 and I know it's going to be hell for the next minute thing, which is going to be NTS, which that's another thing is that in the past year, NTS became a category,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is a whole thing, which if you guys don't know, I haven't uploaded that much, but I believe Kagama Rin has also run this on YouTube.
Yeah.
NTS stands for no Tahu skip. I know the name of the actual trick is kind of like nebulous, but basically what it is
Rahi
you
skip.
don't do
Rahi skip.
you don't do Rahi
Rahi
skip,
skip.
yeah.
No
Tahu
Rahi.
clip, Rahi skip, Tahu skip, all of the
NRR.
names. Yeah. But
Rename the
so what it is you
category.
just don't do that first trick in the first 2.5 minutes of the game, and then you basically play Tahu's level normally, and then do the rest of the run as though it was any percent. And it's still currently above 40 minutes for a run, but the next milestone for the game is going to be sub 40
Sub 40 NTS. Yeah.
for that
What do you
category.
think? What do you think what do you think is like a requirement for getting a sub 39 in NTS?
Good. I'm gonna have a laundry list. It's gonna be good Borok fighting Tahu. Tannock needs
Everything.
to not suck eggs.
I think honestly everything. Like you got to get Mohatu jump. That's like 5 to 7 seconds. You got to
It's gonna
get
it's gonna
Midonua
come down to.
cycle.
I think the
Perfect
biggest ones that are
Tahu
out
as
of my
well.
are the ones that are like out of my control necessarily. I'll just focus with that. Would be like just the cycles on things. I feel like we need good stuff on the Tahu Borok fight. We
Mhm.
need Pahada jump isn't random. It's just annoying. But
It's just ridiculous.
all the stuff in Gali has to work first try because I have some trouble with that just
Yeah.
not working sometimes. And then Liwa is going to be the big one because the boss fight of that one is just you have to hope and pray that you get the good sequence, otherwise you're just done. And then
Oh.
after that is if you make it through that hurdle, then it's going to be you need to have really good RNG for Makuta because you need to kill the Rahi really
Yeah.
quickly. They can't hide behind Daddy. And then you got to get a good Makuta cycle, which I still have no clue how that works. It can work literally two ways. You either bounce the shots back onto his shield and then you get the good cycle, or you could just miss all of them. And then suddenly he will bloodlust and try to kill you.
Yeah.
And
By the way,
that's
shout out to Hex for getting the debug print, or not like the full like DLL print, but the like WAD info
yeah.
on GameCube working. So now I can actually like go and test a lot more on GameCube because I know there are some minor differences.
Who
The
skip
PC.
consistent setup
Somebody ring the
moment.
bell. Somebody ring
I don't
the
know
bell.
about Tahu
Possible
skip.
Tahu skip consistency.
I don't know about that.
That's
I'm not
kind-
too confident in that. I'm more talking about getting precise points for different load zones and being able to potentially skip them, namely in Liwa, like the one that
Wait.
Milk found where you run around the right side of the pillar.
Yeah.
I think things like that might be able to be discovered now. So that's huge.
Yeah. What
Wake
I
up,
also...
Golly. It's time for your third reroute this week.
Yes.
honey.
I mean,
We actually haven't rerouted Golly in a little bit now, which is
I
kind
haven't-
of crazy.
It's because I haven't
It's
been glitch
actually
hunting.
funny.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah, we ripped Andre. God dang it, I do this all the time. We ripped Andre away from BTG, and we've got him focusing on other shit now.
Yeah, I went to Minogue.
Fun.
How'd that go, by the way?
I literally did it for 3 days and got halfway up the board. So
Nice.
Wonderful.
Why'd you stop?
Other things came up.
Fair.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten back into it.
Also, I'm looking at this. I feel like perhaps one of the final reroutes of Lawman might happen before the game is almost figured out. Because I have said this on almost every occasion that Kopaka's level is, again, like the least linear part of the entire game. But I have actually looked through it. I have found a route which could potentially work with that massive skip. And with my PB being 56 minutes 15, at least I believe that is it, if I don't have a better one, which I don't have on splits. Yeah, I do. 55:33. For sub 50, you would need this skip in Kopaka, definitely. which would, judging by this, save, yeah, about like 4 minutes maybe. First try Husi skip, likely, or like within a low amount of tries, like 5 or below. Gali reskill, maybe not, but it would definitely become a requirement later. So if you want to like push the game down to 48, 47 minutes, I don't see a way around that. Because then we would also be doing things like skipping the Mask of Night Vision, which means that I'll need to memorize the entire layout of the maze in Onua's level and be able to do it blindly. So that'll be fun. There is a very highly theoretical Gali reroute that I have found sorta recently.
Yes, honey.
Yeah, that might allow skipping the Mask of Translation and the token door. Because I've found that there is like a place where you can gain a swimming state while on the ground, and then it's extremely theoretically possible to conserve this swimming state into the shrine, from where you could potentially fly backwards through the token door.
Huh.
So that is a very theoretical skip. Or otherwise, yeah, Tahu remains the longest. With that, and with that reroute of Kopaka, Tahu would become, without a shadow of a doubt, the longest level in the game. It is just that horribly long and just... Ugh.
Just try and find tricks, forehead.
I mean, I have tried.
But,
I have tried to look for them, but like there would have been a highly theoretical spawning displacement which could potentially skip things if there wasn't a cutscene that would play after every single sliding level, which immediately reset your position.
Mm.
So
one thing I will say, real quick, since we're talking like general game optimizations, I was really impressed to get a 301.52 in Heroes without either of the one frames, which definitely tells me you can get sub 3 without them. Because I held some fat L's in that run. I'm pretty sure like AVAC 4 was just completely trash. And a couple other levels, I just really just minced the hell out of them, and then clutched up at the end and got out with just barely not sub 3. Like, I'm pretty sure it was mentioned in the last podcast, but if it wasn't, I know basically anytime I talk to anybody I would talk to anybody about Heroes pre sub 3, I was pretty adamant about how it was going to be required to get both the cleansing plant one frame and then the fastest Kreka trick. I think it's funnier to mention the entire like collective trick name than it is just the second one frame.
true.
Fastest Kreka is one hell of a concept too. It's like it's a combination of several years worth of like just knowledge crammed into one like fast sequence. Menacing Keep specifically, which is AVAC 3, is personally one of my favorite levels to run in the game. Despite the fact that there's a one frame in it, I think when you hit it, it is just such a satisfying feeling to go from falling off the wall, grind hero mode real quick, slap that one frame on the face, tell it who's boss, and then just run face first into Kreka and just obliterate that fight because it's glitchier than all hell. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about that.
Yeah.
I also want to mention too, we were talking briefly about reroutes. I know I mentioned in the past, I think the reality of the situation is I don't think we can really reroute Heroes to move AVAC forward in the run. I think the permeation we have for our current route is probably the fastest one you can get, and anything else would probably lose us a bunch of time. I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and I don't really think there's a way that we can improve it while also moving AVAC forward. I think there's opportunity to possibly move it back or like even farther towards the end of the run, but moving it forward kind of just isn't the play.
How would you feel if Trix and Zaxan were found? Because I know you said previously that if those were found, then any percent is dead, or something along those lines.
I don't know if it'd kill any percent. I think if anything, it might actually make it a little more bearable. Like, because the only level that like properly has any tricks for the most part, like any really good tricks, is Zactan 3. And the rest of them are almost completely run of the mill. That's the same for Redac as well. Like we have little bits and pieces that are like micro optimizations, but there's no like super huge tricks in any of the remaining levels. I think the biggest thing is like finding something that isn't stupid. Shout outs to Chess Skip. And also fun to watch. Because like Zactan and Redac specifically, I guess maybe not so much Zactan. Zactan is like interesting to watch because like it comes down to the situation where like everything's super tense and you're on your last like world before you go hit Redac and then the final boss, and that like that's the end, you know. But Redac in particular is just so boring. It's so fucking vanilla that it's like, God, can we just get this over with?
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too on when doing my runs. Also, speaking of chest skip, this has been said before in the chat, but I gotta shout this out in the podcast. June 4th is fucking Olpo Day, and is an officially recognized Bionicle Speedruns holiday.
It commemorates the day that he posted the first video about chest skip. I don't know if that's actually accurate to when he found it, but that's the holiday we're going with, is June 4th. But I also do want to go ahead and put you guys on blast real quick, especially you, Hondrik.
Okay.
Your guys' freaking 15-minute redax, that's dumb. Like, just stay close and you get a free 10 minutes.
I mean, yeah, but then like if
if
I stay close, then I might lose Kongu.
We'll just grab Holly over and over and over like I do.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just stayed in the same place where Holly spawns.
I think I have a 3:08 or 3 minute or not 3 minutes and 8 seconds. 10 minutes and 8 seconds.
Right.
With my IL time, like it's super doable.
All right. I guess I'll try that at some point if I do return to running heroes. It is certainly on the far back burner at this point, however.
Oh yeah. But anyway, we should probably get back to covering the schedule.
Yeah.
I think where we left off, we just touched
yeah.
up on Legend of Madanui. I think
not
we're ready
really.
to move on to BTG. Oh, no?
Legend of Madanui was not really on the run. We did touch on the game a lot, but not on the actual run that happened during BIONIThon, which I will say, kind of disappointed in myself because the last BIONIThon was not valid as 100% run. The run this BIONIThon isn't either, because I skipped picking up the Makoki stone in level 3. I actually like jumped to skip it, and I forgot that it was a 100% run, so I was not allowed to do that.
Way to go, forehead.
Yeah, I am dumb. Yeah.
Where's your notes, man? I had like a 4-page document for my first run of Heroes 100%.
This is something that this is something that I'm supposed to know already at this point. But apparently I didn't.
You can never trust yourself.
Yeah, it also wasn't a PB anyway. It was like 5 minutes behind, so I don't really care much anyway. It was fun to show off, and functionally for showing off, it worked. I unfortunately set my estimate a bit too generously, and I didn't account for cutscenes, so I ended up skipping all of them except for the dances.
I guess I didn't realize it was invalid. I think Legend of Madanui was when I got up and took my break, because I was on the mic for like a solid 5 hours straight at the start. And dude, I was toast. Like I tried to be on the mic throughout the day or throughout the rest of the day after coming back, and it was just not gonna happen.
Yeah. For me, it was actually like, kind of fine to just be there, but with heroes, I mostly just found out there wasn't really much that I could talk about because, you know, you can only say, like, now I'm grinding pieces for hero mode and now I'm using my hero mode so many times before it just becomes so fucking grating over 36 levels. Which, yeah, you spice it up once in a while with, like, the trick commentary, but even then, you can also only say, like, oh, I'm running up this wall in this way, and which clips me up there. You can also only say that so many times.
Just gotta learn how to do commentary, man.
I mean, I'm relatively fine with doing commentary for Laman, so I think it's really just me
That's fair.
needing to learn to do commentary for heroes specifically.
No, yeah, I definitely think that the thing that probably hurt you the most was like just the lack of like I don't want to say like true. I having a hard time like explaining this, but like the true feel for the game, I guess is a way to put it. Like
Yeah. I thought you would say something like, yeah, like true passion or something.
Not in the flow
no,
state.
yeah, like you're still a relatively new runner.
Yeah.
In terms of like how many runs you've put down. I think that was like what your third 80% run.
Maybe.
Something to that effect. I could be wrong, but it's one of those things that it's like, well, I mean, we'll take Melee for example. I mean, most people don't start commentary until they're like well experienced with the game.
Right.
And I know that's like an extra side meme of like commentary instead and whatnot from Smash Summit 8, but whatever. But also at the same time, it's like you kind of gotta know the game well to be able to commentate it well.
Yeah. I guess
But I
that's
also
why.
think
kind
that
of
you and
a-
I did a really good job bouncing back and forth between each other.
Yeah.
I think you did too. Yeah.
Speaking of bouncing between each other, that was like the staple of commentary for BTG, which I would say was the most shitposty of all the commentaries of the entire
As it should
event.
As it should be.
And
The two
two
goofballs.
things. Two
What?
things. One, still on the bit of heroes and Laman right there. I think it comes with a cycle, is what I think it is. It's just kind of what everything, any commentary while doing something, it goes through this kind of idea. At least this is what I felt with BTG. At least is that when you start off, you're focusing, you're trying to learn it, you're trying to be focused for the tricks, you get everything right, and you're not really thinking about what you're saying or what you're doing. Like if you're streaming it, like what I do with stuff,
Yeah.
then it's like you're trying to be like entertaining and things,
Yeah.
and you're focusing, so you're kind of trying to balance that. But then as you get good at the game, you relax and you're more, oh yeah, now I'm just
Like a
more.
comfort
I don't
thing,
have to
yeah.
think as hard with it. But then once you get into like the high level stuff, it's back to, okay, I got to think about the game, I got to focus, I got to do that. So it's kind
Yeah.
of, you start off the same way you end, because by the time, because with BTG, it's like, okay, I'm on Pohatu, I can't even look at chat right now. I have to focus.
brain
And
off.
that's the thing too. I definitely think that Heroes specifically benefits a lot from like having a break between every level. And also on
Yeah.
occasion like throughout the level.
Yeah.
Cause like it gives you a chance to like refresh a little bit. You pull yourself back out. You interact with your chat, then you go back in. It's like coming up for air.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Especially over the course of such a long run, I definitely think without that, Heroes would be so much worse.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess I have found like this is to me is a bit of a special thing in that you kind of I really disliked Heroes because it has like the long cutscenes and you just can't do anything during these cutscenes. But I will definitely say, yeah, they do give you a big chance to just relax and take a breather and do that. But if you don't need to do that, if you're in the zone and you really just want to get it over with, and the cutscenes, I would say, can potentially throw you off.
Yeah, I definitely think because like Heroes is probably the most micromanaged or like most micromanagey game amongst the rest of the Bionicle speedruns, like
Definitely.
available or like entries. So like, I don't know about y'all, but like when I'm running Heroes, there's always like 3 to 4 different things related regarding the game that I'm thinking about. Like, all right, I need to make sure I hit like this sequence of movements. I need to pre-aim this spot. There's a trick coming up. I got to be ready for that.
For me,
how are my
it's-
spawns looking? What's my piece count?
Yeah, for
If
you,
I'm
it'll
running
just
100%, like I'm managing like the trophies and shit in my head, my piece counts,
yeah. I
all that
understand
stuff.
that. For me, with Laman, it's mostly just yeah, there's this trick coming up. I need to make sure that I am ready for the trick. I need to make sure that I need to get ready in case the game like crashes on this, because this is a spot where it's known to crash. Or I need to get ready if a Rahi decides to like shoot me while I'm ledge grabbing, or like if some other random Rahi RNG happens. But that's like mostly it. Otherwise, it's just sometimes I need like to be on precise spots for movements. But yeah, and
I feel like
you do
go
have
ahead.
cutscenes, but then the good part, I think Lam really has the best of all worlds when it comes to cutscenes. First of all, they're completely skippable, or almost all of them, except for mini boss intros and boss intros. Otherwise, they're skippable, so if you really feel like going through it, then you can just hit escape and immediately like go again. But if you want the break, you can freely watch the entire cutscene, because we also have a fully functional in-game timer, which is the primary method of timing the game, and during cutscenes the in-game timer is paused.
I definitely feel like Heroes is probably the closest to like a Minecraft style run though. Like there's just so many things that you have to manage throughout the run and counterbalanced against each other that like I think that's part of the fun in it. Is that's where the skill gap comes from, because like at its core, at a low level, it's literally just hold A or hold the fire key and forward
Yeah.
plus a strafe key. But like the depth to some of the strategies that you can employ to like make sure you're getting pieces faster, like well, I mean, we'll even take 100% for an example here. You specifically, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna go as fast through all of these levels as humanly possible, and then pick up the rest of my pieces in the bonus levels later. But,
Yeah,
like,
because
I will get them as I'm going through, and
yeah.
personally, I'm of the opinion that that's the better philosophy
I mean,
to
yeah,
uphold. But
I will
I
say,
have bias, so
yeah, what I have done there is the reason why I believe it's a better philosophy is because I actually looked at your run. I looked at your run and I timed every single one of your levels and looked at all of the pieces that you got from all of the levels. It did the divisions to find the ratio at which you receive the pieces per minute. The levels, any level that you did, doesn't hold a candle to the amount of grind you can get in the bonus levels. It's not even comparable. I think your best level goes out to like 16,000 pieces per minute. On a good bonus level grind, you can get 40,000 per minute. The math just doesn't. I was just like, okay, the math doesn't lie. It's better to go through it as fast as you can and then pick it up in the bonus levels. And so that was why I had that opinion, or kind of still do, but
we should probably stop stepping on the BTG guys' toes.
probably.
Get out of my way. I got my fat ass feet over here. I need space. But yeah, no. BTG, oddly enough, this year wasn't the most viewed segment of BIONIThon.
Yeah.
I
didn't Monog take that?
yeah,
That's the two tie.
which was
Monog
the
took that.
craziest thing. Like he just spammed it in all of his discords and stuff, and he ended up having peak viewership, which is like crazy to me because BTG in 2021 was our saving like segment.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I think it was probably more of just a like spam volume sort of thing. I would imagine that like just the usuals showed up for BTG. All of Milkblade's like chat monsters, I think is what they're called.
My boys.
But
I didn't see as many of them in chat. Like I only really saw Nepicros. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of the usual guys.
Yeah. Well, it was a good run though. BTG was a good run.
It was a good run.
We definitely had some goofy moments because we just got a couple people on comms, and
Yeah.
whenever I hit the scene in the Bionicle community in general, it's generally gonna be just a complete
Shit
weird
post.
fest. We just
Yeah,
have
it was
shitpost.
Yeah, it was really fun to just like talk with you and Nolpu and just be like,
I forgot
just-
about that too.
and just a meme all throughout the run with memes from Milkblade's chat.
It's
That's
just
all the
fun, man.
BTG
And
run was.
I love
Propaganda
running the
for
game,
Milkblade's channel.
but my relationship with the game has gotten to a point where it was just pure drive of I want to get better at the game. Then it's just fun to run the game, and now it's both the same time for the most part.
Oh,
And I've been beaten down and hurt so much. You have to be masochistic to speedrun, especially with shit that has tricks like Tahoe skip and things.
I feel like you have
You gotta be able to enjoy the pain, and I just like running the game.
Yeah, I feel like
even though
Especially at the top level.
yes.
Oh yeah, and it's just fun. And so doing
the
a
runner for a game, that's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I
And like
feel like-
doing that run for BIONIThon was super fun too, because even in the first few minutes, like we were already just joking because I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump right in the lava, guys. That was my biggest worry for BIONIThon, was I was gonna in the first 30 seconds of the game jump in the lava, die, and reset.
Yeah, didn't you like practice that like
Optimal.
10 times?
That was what I practiced the most before BIONIThon, because I knew that if I did that, I would never live it down.
Yeah,
make a fool
and then-
out of
and then
yourself
we-
now that we
we-
actually have VODs.
yeah.
We just had fun with it too with the run, because like I was going past the wall and was like, yeah, we're not running that today, and I was like, I could give it a shot just to see what happens, and everybody on comms was just like,
Peer pressure.
like, do it.
Do it.
And so yeah, we just took a pit stop and did Tahoe skip for like 15 seconds, and then we just continued the run, and then we just stopped in Gali and Onua just for vibes.
Yeah,
And it was still
PS
like,
moments.
and honestly, aside from the stopping, if you cut those moments out, I was still on a really fucking good pace,
yeah.
True.
which is crazy. I got Pohatu jump, everything was good. Lewa had decent RNG. Lewa was just fine, and it was a great time. We were just
forgot about that.
enjoying it. We just had a great time with that run, and I was
Yeah.
very happy with that. And it was a good thing because I had taken a little bit of a break from BTG for a little bit, just because I had ground. Because another thing, because we're talking about all the achievement stuff, I mentioned it briefly, but I also got the 37. We got sub 38 in BTG 80%,
Yeah,
which was something. That was a grind, and I'm very happy it's
Huge.
happened.
absolutely. I am still like kicking myself that I wasn't there live to see it. It was,
It
but
was
I watched
quite the
back the
moment.
VOD. It was glorious. What I wanted to say was like, I feel like you have to be, when you said that you have to be masochistic to run BTG, I feel like you have to be masochistic to run any Bionicle game. There's
I
something
think it's just
about
for
it.
speedrunning
yeah.
in general. Speedrunning in general, you got to be a little masochistic, because you got to be like, you got to take the pain, you got to be critical, and you got to beat yourself down, and you got to get beaten down a bit, because you got to
You gotta
expect
build
more of
back up.
yourself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You gotta expect more of yourself. You gotta realize I'm shit at something, and you gotta get better.
I
And
don't
that's
know.
what speedrunning is.
Like, picking up heroes, and this is like a super personal note, so like I won't linger on it too much, but like picking up heroes was probably one of my biggest sources of like self-improvement. Because like I'm always pushing myself to be better.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, once you start doing that for one thing, it starts spreading across the board to just about everything else. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
I remember when I was young, I used to be the person that I would never do the side quests or whatever in games, and nowadays I can't. If I have a single side quest, my brain is like, I must complete every single thing.
must do all.
and like I have this reflex now of just, if I can do something like that, I'm just going to do it. Like in Ultra Kill, I was doing the challenge runs in that the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play through the game with only the revolver. And then in the first level, I beat that, and I'm like, you know what? What if I just perfect the game with the revolver? What if I just do that?
Oh yeah,
I could just do that instead.
Yeah, and well, I don't want to get into spoilers for Ultra Kill, so I'm unfortunately not gonna say like Or I guess yeah.
There are
don't
some
want-
certain levels that
Yeah.
take a lot of soul to beat.
Or I guess like if you don't want Ultra Kill spoilers, then you can jump ahead like maybe a minute or two. But yeah, what I wanted to say was that I then sent a
JP moment.
message that I beat P1 with only the revolver with like 3 seconds to spare. And then Milkblade, you were like, oh well, now I gotta do it.
It's like, well, now that it's proven possible, I can't not do it. Like, if it's confirmed possible, I'm gonna do it.
And then
But
that's
Which is that's kind of a thing for BTG too. Is once we've proven something is possible, we have to do it. Which
Speaking
is
Like,
of
oh
why,
shit,
oh,
so
why
grind out and
Topics
get it now.
sucks ass.
Yep.
It's like when you see the sum of bets tick over to a certain number, you're like, "Ooh, it is theoretically possible, so I'm going to do it now," and it's gonna hurt.
Good.
It's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Could
honestly,
been.
that was
But I'm
one of was probably one of my biggest motivation factors. I think my 305 was the first run to show up sum of best. That was like 258. Between that and just like all of the activity that happened over the year, that I think that's honestly what pushed me over the edge. But like Heroes kind of had a weird year up until like the very end, where we got that big ass boom of players. I definitely think Heroes isn't like in its second golden age at this point. Like, just the amount of like sheer attention it's getting by happenstance. The amount of people that are like just playing it at random, Germa included. Like, and then all of the runners that are queued up and like in their practicing phases and whatnot. But does anybody have any goals for 20? Actually, hold up. Let's cover Matanui Online first.
yeah. So
Before we
the
go there.
Matanui Online game was weird, I guess I would say in a way. First, it was like kind of weird scheduling wise, because even back when like 100% was still on the table, I struggled to like find a way to fit everything together. Managed to
Yeah.
do it, but like it put Monog either like dead last, or I think it even put me after Monog. I don't remember exactly, but so that was kind of thing that I had to like look through and see exactly how it went, but eventually I did manage to give it a spot on the schedule. And I watched the run. It's Monog is a game, you can play it, but even though I have a run of it, I can't really say a lot.
Shout outs to Tutai for just being a freaking mad lad, by the way. His
Yeah, that
last
was a-
committed run was like 9 years ago.
That is true, yeah.
And then he just rolls up, and from the sounds of it, he did like minimal practice too, and then just
Yeah.
was it a PB? I can't remember.
I mean, it
Might
I
have
think
was
it was
been.
a PB.
it was I don't know their like actual PB or not, but I know compared to their 9-year-old run it was faster. But yeah. That was a good run. It was really really well commentated too.
Yeah, I actually
Um,
really enjoyed watching it. It actually kind of made me want to pick it up. if I'm
It
being
made me
honest
want to
with
pick
you.
it up, and I did, and it was fun.
I've got so
Um,
much unfinished business with Heroes that I got to take care of first, but like that's one of the things that I'm eyeballing like out the gate.
I guess, yeah, for you now, would it be the question that you wanted to ask? That would, I mean, or perhaps we could also cover a bit of the like closing thoughts that we had on BIONIThon and
Shout outs to Andre, actually, by
yes.
the way. He straight up just took over all of the streaming.
Yeah, that was-
effectively last minute even.
It wasn't the last minute, but last few minutes is fair.
I mean, considering we had an entire ass year. it was
Yeah.
last minute. But like I between like we had put so much work into it throughout the year that like I was starting to get burnt out. And then the submission period rolled around and I was like starting to get really pessimistic about it.
Oh yeah,
I think shadows of this were dropped in the last podcast.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
I think like it was getting really bad where like we were like on the fence about, well, shoot, are we gonna have a show this year? Like, we promised a show, so I mean, if they want it, or if we're not gonna get anybody, I mean, we'll just give them 100%. But like, it got really, really nerve wracking towards the end there. Like to the point where I was starting to like bully people in DMs, like, "Hey, please submit, please submit, please submit, please, please, please." uh, uh, but I don't know. And I also mentioned this last time too. I think I preferred the crunch over having an exorbitant amount of time.
Yeah, and
I
will
definitely
also...
think that any developments for this year's, if it exists, not confirming or denying, to stick in line with the things we said at the end of BIONIThon. I think we like throw together maybe like an 8-10 thing, and then that's when we start like actually looking at doing something.
Yeah, that might be something. Speaking of 8-10, planning is like would start approximately now. So if we really want to do like something, we should like get like some thoughts going in our heads. But what I wanted to talk about was, yeah, as the stream was like going through, and I remembered what happened last year with like the technical difficulties, the lens cap moment, everything, and I was just there, doped up on 2 cans of energy drink, and I was just here. It was like freaking 2 a.m. or whatever, and I saw that the event just went by without a hitch, and I was just like, wow. I had worried about this for so long, and now it's just passing by. It felt even, I would say, a little bit boring. Which, even then I knew that that was a bad thing to say. Because, like, I loved doing the event. I loved organizing the event, and it was good. But then it was
certainly... It was certainly a change of pace. We definitely had next to no chaos. I know Milk was giving us like a little bit of a scare towards the very end on Andre and I, but
that's because my circumstances were weird.
Yeah,
because I was in friggin' Alaska and we were trying to make all this streaming stuff work, and you guys were, and I managed to somehow break OBS in a way that nobody had seen before. Look, okay, this is some behind the scenes right here, but I kid you not, it was like the day or two, I think before. I think it was the day before, right?
I think so.
Or the 2 days before.
It was a couple days before, yeah.
It was right before BIONIThon this past time, and I remember being like DMing these guys, and I was like, all right, let's get the stream set up and everything going. I had no idea what the plan was. I was just there to take orders and push buttons.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so we're sitting there for, it must have been like 2 hours trying to get the stream to work. The frames are dropping. Everything's weird. It's really annoying and weird. I'm changing all the settings. Everything's getting whack with it. And then after all of that, in the most oh, well, we'll just do this anyway moment, after all that hell trying to get it to work, we're just like, we'll just stream it to Discord and then we'll just pipe it through there. It's fine.
That's one thing I will say.
And I remember looking up from my keyboard, just like, we can just do what? I can just do what now?
What?
That's the one thing. It's like I'm trying, or both years now. Like I've come up with these solutions for like streaming, and you've always been like the breaker of those solutions, both this year and last year, or last year and 2021, I guess I should say.
I've always said
it is the great year of 2023. We've just had you stream a Discord both times.
Like, if you ever want to see something technical break in a way that's never broken before, put me on
it. Give it to Milk.
Yep.
Okay, at this point, I'm afraid of you picking up Laman.
If you give it, I will break it.
That was one of the things too. Since we're here, I'll go ahead and discuss that. We created Bionicle Speedruns 2 and Bionicle Speedruns 3 this year, and we were handing out the stream keys for those to sort of mimic what Lego Speedrun did with their Legothon. in 2022, they would restream those streams onto the main. They were having weird issues with like delay and stuff because they were like sending voice audio through the main and not through the secondary stream, which I just corrected by putting literally everything through the secondary stream. And like for the most part, if you're not Milk in Alaska, it worked out very well.
Mhm.
It just timed up perfectly. I was back there for the holidays, and it was like, well, everything's gonna go wrong, guys. Let's go.
Hey, on the bright side, we got We Heroes out of the situation, so net W.
Yep, We
And
Heroes
it
is
still
going to
turned out
happen.
okay. It turned out okay.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, up to the point of Footloose getting sub 3 hour, I kept on telling him, "Yeah, that's your goal, man. You get sub 3 hour. I'll play the game with the Wii Zapper because that's an attachment for the Nintendo Wii gaming console, a la 2006."
The irony is I've heard that that's probably the best way to play the Wii version.
I can't wait for that to
Just
just
out of,
be
like-
the speedrun tech.
Either that or what Galaxy Runners do, and they just like rubber band the controllers together.
That's amazing.
But yeah, going back to the stream and stuff, there were a few errors on my part, and I will share the blame between my incompetence and OBS being OBS. But overall, I think I did pretty well. I hope I did pretty well.
That's one
I
thing
definitely
I've
had to-
noticed. For across both years, OBS has had a hand in every single issue.
I was really
Go
worried
ahead.
because like the couple days leading up to it, OBS crashed a bunch when I was literally just practicing and like going through the motions and stuff. I was like, if this happens, that'll be fun. Yeah, there were a few times where I would like change scenes and like a mic would get unmuted. So I think it was like right after BTG, I was like, we're no longer hot. And Nopo was like, oh, we're not hot anymore. And then chat was like, we can hear you. It's like, what? I muted that. What the hell? Yeah, I'd like mute something, transition, and then it would unmute after the transition. And it was only like after it went through. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
there's only
I
a few
love
ways to do
the
those.
Go ahead.
I love the totally canon moment where we said, yeah, all right, we're not live, and then I just yelled, man, fuck Heroes. That-
Oh yeah, that was the thing when I was running 2021. I was really careful around like all of the transitions and stuff. Just like in general, like, and I had an overly complicated setup for 2021 for myself specifically, because I
Mhm.
wanted to be able to be heard by the runners, but not by the stream. And since we were using the ass backwards freaking OBS Ninja setup that we had, which dear God, I'm so glad we got away from that.
Yeah, me too. That was cursed.
Streaming to
the fir-
Twitch is just a million times easier to do.
y'all were trying to give me a whole ass virus first BIONIThon. I was like, dude, you guys this is
Yeah,
malware.
we were installing a
happening?
rootkit on Milkblade's computer. It's fine.
Yeah, we just integrated that into the new version of the Heroes practice ROM, so it's much better.
Yeah,
fine.
it's also
Better
combined
than
with
Bitcoin miner.
Nullpo's Bitcoin miner, and I think Andre's Ethereum miner is there too. I don't remember.
It's Hexes, it's not mine.
Nullpo notorious for using everybody's GPU as a crypto miner. That's a joke. That should be considered a joke, both legally and very, very seriously. That is a dead ass joke.
If
That's
his
fraud.
computer
We don't
can't
like
work,
fraud.
nobody's can.
It's just a crypto miner in Minecraft.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's an
But no, yeah,
on
the event went stupid well.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
nothing wrong happened. And I kind of agree. Maybe not with the exact verbiage that you used, Ondrick, but like it was a situation of like we were all expecting something and then nothing happened.
Yeah.
We were on edge for the entire fucking stream. They're like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? Is this game gonna start having a crashing fit, or is like, stream gonna like just commit die or something.
Zoe is gonna crash like it did the few times. Somehow it didn't.
Which I think this kind of like obviously it's very tentative, the idea of a 2023 BIONIThon, but I feel like we can learn from both of the ones that have happened, and we can go further with it because we have the first one, which will always be the first BIONIThon, and we have the one that worked, the one that just worked, everything just worked.
Yeah.
And I think from there, because I'm thinking like, where would we go from there? This is all theoretical. This is not me saying, oh, we're gonna do a bunch of crazy shit. It's like this is just hypothetical. But we have the first one, the one that worked. I think if we do a third one, which hopefully we do, I would love to. I think that's the one where we're like, let's do something weird. Let's get outside the box. Let's do something weird. Let's have something different. This is the time. This will be the one to experiment with. To just see what can we do. We've made it work. Now let's push it further. Let's see what can happen. Let's do a gag with 100% heroes. I thought about that. The first one was during the runs, like in between runs, we just cut back to a theoretical 100% heroes run, and it's just someone going.
I have a family.
It's just so we can add like I'm just thinking like going further.
We'll do
We
bingo.
can add. We can add bingo. We can add shitposts. We can have memes. We can just do fun things with it because we found a way to make it work. We've learned from the first one, which is always going to be the first one, and now we can just go. All right, let's just see what we can do with it.
Honestly,
not to mention the amount of ideas we have in the back pocket for like.
We still haven't even
stuff.
tapped like the Vnog memes. There's so much stuff we can do just to have fun with it because at the end of the day,
there's a thing
it's just a great time.
That is like at first I would have been like vehemently against these ideas, but it like goes against the spirit of BIONIThon or some such, which in a sense I think it kind of goes against the spirit that I had planned for it initially, which would be for it to just be another marathon like Legothon. Or like Games Done Quick, but it would be like a semi-serious event where we just show up for games. But I feel like your ideas are actually really good here, and I think I need to change the vision of BIONIThon to suit that. We don't need to be like every other marathon. We can goof off. We can have our memes and shitposts. We can absolutely do that.
Carve our own niche. It's our
exactly.
Like,
that's what's gotten us this far with a lot of stuff. That's why people show up for Monog, for BTG, for Laman, for all this stuff is because we've made these unique runs with all these unique runners and people in the community. And we don't have to be GDQ with 50 people in the chat. Yeah. We can be BIONIThon with whatever the hell we please because
the homies.
We're Bionicle.
Yes.
We are our own thing, and we're considered like an offshoot of Lego from Bionicle just in general, just as a thing.
Yeah.
So let's just own our being whatever we want to be. Yes. And we can do whatever we want.
And like even the speedrunning community is so incredibly unknown because even the Lego speedrunning community got a massive fucking shout out from Summoning Salt having a video, from Moist Critical playing Lego Hobbit and watching this and doing speedrun tricks on stream. And
that kind of says something too, is that you have those big personalities and things for like the main Lego stuff and things. Yes. And then what does the Bionicle community get? We get Germa losing to Kurak in Bionicle Heroes,
even, like,
which is the most on-brand thing for Bionicle and these games, is that the biggest exposure we've had is Germa shitposting with it and burning his screen with Bionicle Heroes. That is Bionicle. If Bionicle is nothing, it is weird, it is broken, and it's funny as hell. And I think we should absolutely go in on that.
It's kind of matching the spirit of the Bionicle community as a whole, because Lego doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah.
It's all the community just doing their own thing and making their own ideas and all that stuff. So I think that fits in really well.
Yes. And the same thing, we can also say that this also fits with the spirit of the Derp Tahu reveal. Wasn't that also last year?
Last year was small Tahu.
Someone literally tweeted like, this was revealed and the entire Bionicle community speedran the 5 stages of grief in 2 hours and ended at the 6th stage of unironic love.
Dude,
That's
I was at
amazing.
work when that happened, and I was just watching the slow process over the course of an hour and a half of everybody hating Tiny Tahu, and then everybody was like, "Well, all right, let's look
Flipping
at the
and making a
positives."
fan
And
trailer.
then
Yeah.
by the time like work was picking up that day, it was just everybody's made OCs of it. Everybody's doing custom builds.
Yeah, it's
I was
like
part of like a group on Twitter that did like a full-on Avengers parody with our own versions of ourselves
The
as the little
minute-
tiny ones.
The minute one of my favorite artists, Mr. Ryan, did like a drawing of him, and it was really cute and it got really popular. That was when I was like, okay, this guy's dope. It was
Yeah.
literally that
And there
meme
was
of like
the-
the bird with the cracker. And he's like, get that shit out of my face. He takes a bite and he's like, oh.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I
there
was
was the
just. I
animation,
remember I
too.
sent that to a friend, and they were like, "That is so incredibly cringe. I am so sorry for you." And then later, it was literally like the meme of, "We have only had Tiny Tahu for 2 hours, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself."
I would commit a
And then-
national tragedy.
And then the publicity from that with the person, I can't remember who it was, but they made the animation of Tiny Tahu
God,
like fighting
yes.
Arahi and surfing, and it was
Yeah.
like this is, and it was like I think there was a video that was just, it was a compilation of all the different memes and like custom things done with it that was just
Oh my
titled
god! Yes.
"I love the Bionicle."
Yes.
Yes, I saw
Dude,
that.
And it was
that animation,
such a
even like
good
the guy who created Small Who was like, yo, this is like exactly what I wanted. Like, this is great.
he's
Yeah.
just a
Give
just
us
a little
something to
fella.
rally behind.
Yeah, and I
It's
feel like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to embrace this derpy energy as the Bionicle community. We are
Exactly.
ourselves. We don't need anyone dictating. And even if from the 15 people in chat that we had last month, even if 14 of them leave, as long as we are enjoying ourselves and that one person is enjoying it, then that's fine. And I think
You know
we
what?
all
In
need
the-
to realize that.
In the spirit of to quote the Eagles, like the football team,
Jesus.
and like Philly in general, no one likes us, we don't care.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's the energy we need. Is
Yes.
no one likes us, we don't care.
Like that one, I forget his name. I think his last name is Weber or something. The bowling guy. He's like, like me or not, you watched. It's like that kind of energy.
God, that's.
We're likable though. We swear we're fun, good people. We're not just
swear. We're
I mean,
likable.
yeah. I mean, if you have
That's
stayed,
how you do it
yeah,
these
if
days.
you've stayed until this point in the podcast, it's clear that you have to like us in some respect.
It's clear you are who we're talking about.
Yes,
Definitely.
and also what I want to
Shout
say
out
is that,
to you, by the way,
Yes.
viewers. You are
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
We're just out here literally pissing around and having a good time, and you guys are also joining us on it. We
Yeah.
thank you for it.
and please
If it was
give
like
us
you,
feedback
make
in
this
the
program
comments. Uh,
What was that, Milk?
I said, and viewers like you who make this program possible.
yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. From
But
all
I
of us
do-
here at
since-
Bionicle Ship Posting.
Since we've got a lull here, real quick, I've got one thing I want to shout out real quick,
Yeah,
and then 3 questions.
all right.
So, and I'll start with the shout out first. Shout outs to Team Kanohi, just as
Mhm.
sick as always.
Mm.
They actually have something to show for it this year, and Joe Cool actually got to do a lot of commentary this year. Like we only put him on the Mask of Power Legacy block, but he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just stick around for everything. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think he stuck around through. Well, I guess he was just there for Laman, but
Yeah.
man,
Yeah,
was
I mean, having another
super-
person there at Laman just asking questions about the game, that really worked out well with, like, I believe, with me like bouncing off of him and info
Mhm.
dumping about the game, which I absolutely adore doing.
Which I guess this is a bit more of a side note thing, which we can discuss later. I'm thinking try commentary might be the future of BIONIThon. Like have your you have your runner, you have your additional really experienced person, and then you're just random Joe, who's like there to ask all the questions that chat's gonna ask.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
random
that's-
Joe Cool.
That dynamic for Legend of Matanui worked out so well, and I think
Yeah.
if we could translate that over to the other games, it would make not only the commentary so much more dynamic, but just like digestible. You know,
Regarding this, I am not confirming or denying anything, but this is the first time that I'm gonna like mention this publicly. Again, not confirming or denying anything, be it for any events, but I had the thought of actually paging Darvel Hunt, one of the original developers for
Jeez.
Lawman, and getting him on commentary for an event for me running the game. Because
That would be amazing.
as you know, as much as we hated on IGN last episode, their devs react to speedruns videos do get quite a lot of views. So I did have the thought, like, this could be fun. Like, of course, if he really wants to, because from what I've heard, like, for a lot of Sapphire developers, it was borderline traumatic what they experienced with the circumstances surrounding the development. So they would really have to, like, agree for it. But if they did, I would love to just have them on. Perhaps if I do a trick, they would be able to say, like, oh, this might be caused by me doing this, or by this other person doing this. And I feel like if I could get something like that, that would be awesome, and it would probably be the greatest run of Lawman of all time.
That would be really cool, yeah. And just to like,
Would be amazing.
I guess show them that like we really appreciate their work, even though like
Yeah.
maybe
Circumstances.
they didn't enjoy doing it, sure,
Yeah.
but like
Andre,
the fact their
perhaps
efforts
I
to-
thought that I don't remember if it was you or if it was Hex who had like contacts with many different Argonaut and former Argonaut employees. Perhaps
it was
that could,
Hex.
yeah, but
it was heck. I've reached
Yeah,
out to a
it was.
couple. I've only gotten a response from like one or two,
yeah,
and it was basically the same thing they told X. But yeah, he's got a lot more.
yeah. So potentially that could also work for BTG, especially like with how ambitious the game was. And just talking about it and perhaps like showing off Tahoe Skip and be like, oh hey, what the hell? I think
I would love that. I
It
would
could
love to just
work.
sit down with somebody watching and just be like, yeah, here's how I'm destroying your game right now.
yeah,
Thank you for
exactly,
and they're really like,
exactly.
hey, why does this
giving
work?
us.
So that is something that I have. It's an idea that I've toyed with, which kind of this commentary kind of leans into. But I do feel like, yeah, having with an average Joe who doesn't know anything, or even with an otherwise high-level speedrunner of a different game, who would
Yeah.
understand, like, okay, this is approximately this. Like,
But
that's
like break it down.
yeah.
So I can really, really get it.
Exactly. I feel like that could definitely work out well, and I also feel like with our BIONIThon potentially going less up the direction of a standard marathon, there's nothing stopping us from doing even more events from just... We don't have to use the BIONIThon branding all the time, but we can do, like, races, tournaments, we can do guides potentially, just have someone live coach someone else while they play, and then publish that as a tutorial, for God's sakes.
Speaking of races, there's a whole thing we forgot about that happened this past year that came out that
Bingo.
can also be used as a gag for BIONIThon, or just we can do races of this, which we've talked about before, which is Kapora Adventures
Oh my
exists.
Oh my
That
god.
came
Okay,
out.
so
We
during
all like
During the
that's such a
legacy
fun
segment,
thing.
During the legacy segment, one of the devs was in the chat. Or like the person responsible for Kapura's adventure was in chat, and I think we
That
went
was
back and
Onifox,
forth
right?
quite a bit there. I
That was
believe so.
Onifox, and they are on the BTG leaderboard, by the way.
That's
Ah,
amazing.
nice.
But
Good on them. Little kings.
we were like talking to him, and I thank you for reminding me about that. I need to get in contact with them and see what we can do.
I would love to
for
do
a
a Kapora's Adventure
hypothetical
race. That'd be
BIONIThon
so fun.
2023. Because I don't know, just having devs involved is just an amazing experience.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Like across the board for viewerships, for the runners, for it seems like the devs get a pretty good kick out of it too. So like I think it would just be a fun time for everybody. But let me rapid fire these questions real quick because I had those three.
Yeah.
There's two that we could potentially consider for this year, and then one that's like a future question mark that's like on the table. So the first one being donations. Do we really, really become a charity event this year? Second one, 2-day event. Do we start pushing for like so many of these games over the course of 2023 to actually like develop them and start pushing people across aisles and whatnot? Like Milk, you got to play some of their games. God damn it.
I'll learn some stupid. Give me a minute.
Llamas.
So to answer that with some other ideas,
But
Hit me up with the Wii Zapper, I'll do that.
Okay, yeah.
I have one more.
okay, yeah.
Which is the obvious one. and also the one that's not really on the table for this year. But when are we gonna start like considering an IRL Bionithon?
I would like to answer these questions. Let's try getting this a bit more organized. So to answer in order, I don't know if we want to like have a charity event. I think it could work, could be fun, or as I've mentioned before, we don't necessarily have to donate to a charity. I don't believe, though. Then we might. I don't know if we would get into trouble with Lego or not. Specifically in relation to the third question, to like potentially raise money for an IRL event is a big kind of question mark. So
I
that
definitely just try to do the first one out of pocket. Like,
right. That is also understandable.
I'll just fund the whole goddamn thing. I don't care.
I don't know exactly about actually having a charity event for that. We would need like a place where people can donate first of all, but second of all, we would also like need some kind of charity to donate to, and there are some that we can immediately consider, but I don't know if that's really, if we're really gonna raise a lot is to me the thing, because
Yeah, that was my thing. Is like, unless like there's a lot more popularity, I don't think it would really. Don't think really much would come of it, and I don't
think
know.
if we leaned a bit more into it, like I think it would work out fine. And even then, like
Yeah.
a small donation's still a donation to charity. We're
Yeah,
still
true.
we're still like doing good in the world.
I
So, like,
think
Sure.
I
we
wouldn't
should.
feel bad necessarily if like we had one and it underperformed. I think it would be more the fact that we did it to begin with. I think is
Yeah.
what would be the cool part.
that's
Like
fair.
it's definitely like sort of a thing that we'd have to look into, and like actually put some serious like time into figuring out what the hell we want to do with it. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's something
terms
that's
of
always on the
the-
table because it's like that's kind of the standard for like marathons. It's like raising money for charity at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean,
In
if
terms
it's
of
something we want to pursue, it's there. But like, you know,
I feel like honestly, it's certainly a good idea, but like I would say it still needs some time. Like perhaps I would say
Mhm.
maybe 2025 or something, if we
potentially
like
use
get
that to
a good
backpack the
viewer
fact that
base.
Hordika sucks.
Maybe. Then for the next question, which you had 2-day event,
Andre had something.
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say in terms of like getting in trouble with Lego, Legothon does it, so I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah, but
And
they don't.
literally use Lego.
I meant getting in trouble with Lego not for fundraising for a charity, but for fundraising for us to be able to go somewhere. Which it could be that LegoCon isn't getting into trouble because they're actually giving it to a charity, so you could say there's no profit being made.
I think we could definitely get around that by like any excess just donating to charity.
Right. And what I wanted to say here was the next thing of a 2-day event, it would certainly allow for more flexibility in the scheduling, but I am honestly unsure if we still have enough to fill like an entire, if we have enough games and enough interested runners, most of all, to fill that, because what I'm mostly afraid is that it would like be like 1 8-hour day, and then the second day is just like 3 hours or something, and it's like 1 or 2 runs. And to me, that's kind of I don't know.
I definitely think we could do it. I think there's enough bullshit extra side stuff that like even with the 5 games from last year we could totally do. Like we could just have like 2 different runs of BTG and then like a bunch of weird random shit from Heroes, and you know, Lawman has like 60 billion categories too.
Yeah, we have save warp.
Yeah,
and
in
we
the
have...
spirit of the bottom 4 of the, or 4 out of the bottom 5 runs on BTG. I know you're not, that verbiage isn't really used anymore, but a first time race, so you sit some people down who've never played the game before and tell them to beat the game. That would be...
And that's the thing too, is
something.
it's like we don't have to rely on strictly runs.
Yes.
We have we have such a wide like scope of available opportunities that like we could throw 2 new runners at a game and tell them to go buck wild, and then when they're done we move on, say like, hey, bingo, or
bingo's a good one.
Or like, or we take
mod for BTG.
I still want a Breaking Bad mod for BTG where we replace all of the dialogue with just Breaking Bad memes.
I still think we
need
could
these
have
chaos,
a mod
awful
which
shitpost versions.
we could have a mod which replaces the cart that Puhatu is in with a bathtub in honor of the movie.
Movie. But I'm inclined to agree with a lot of this stuff in terms of the just going through both of the questions for my takes on them. For the charity stuff, I think it is a decent idea for any event, but I don't know if main event BIONIThon is what we should make that, because then because then it's not oh, it's the speedrun event, come check these out, this is awesome. Now it's all right, it's speedruns for charity
event.
Yeah.
And I know it's all, I always feel weird talking about this because it's like the whole, oh well, you don't want to do charity. It's like, no, it's not about that. It's like, I'm talking about we're still, I don't want to say in infancy, but we're still learning some things, and we've had 2 successful ones. But like I was saying earlier, it's like we can do weird stuff, and I don't think the weird stuff we should go for is trying to create a very organized and like orderly charity event.
Yeah,
that's
in
the thing
that
that
I
sense,
don't know I don't think that's our
well.
brand necessarily. We could do a separate event that is a charity, but I don't know if main event BIONIThon should be
thing.
that.
That's one thing to definitely consider. There is the fact that we lose so much creative agency.
Yes, like I wanted to say like exactly that, but like they probably wouldn't do like a shitposty event where every runner just throws out swears every 10 minutes like a sick crow. And as we know, Bionicle games elicit a fuck ton of swearing, as we have done here like so many times. I'll probably put up a counter on screen. And get ready for the meme version of this video. It's a Bionicle Speedruns Shitshow, but every time anyone swears, it gets faster.
Every time we hate on our own games, it gets a little faster. And then the second question, oh my god, I already forgot my response to it. What's the second question again?
2-day event.
Because using a sentence.
2-day event. Yeah.
2-day event. All right. 2-day event. I think that's a good idea because I feel like we have enough stuff right now, even without like really weird things like, oh, we're bringing out this weird game mode or this new thing. I think we could do, if we were to take what we have right now, not adding in like oh, we're adding Kapora Adventures, we'll add in like a weird like bingo, we'll add bingo or something. I think we could do, if we just wanted 2 days, we could do a split between, we'll have a day of speed runs and a day of races. And that's just an idea. Because I think a day of races could be kind of cool too.
We could even like also segment it up where, because like we discussed potentially including more content pieces, like bumpers and stuff, like just general like fanfare sort of things in between runs and stuff. Like we could totally divide it up where we have a whole bunch of like additional extra content surrounding everything too. And I also want to mention at the same time, there are so many games that are potentials that nobody's just touched. And I think like, even though we could definitely do it with our core roster of games, there are so many games that a lot of that Andrik fully like doesn't believe are like really conducive to good runs. But I think that like there's so much there, like the Flash game offerings, like both of the ones from 2006, excluding Vanog, which I mean technically still counts. I mean, if you want to make a whole ass third day out of that, like you could, like.
If you wanted laughter and memes, I would say include Vanog, because it's just that bad.
It's a situation where, like, we're gonna have to spend the year just looking, because truthfully, like, we're all just going off of memory when it comes to, like, questioning the viability of, like, games for a speedrun. Like, I definitely think, especially having replayed it recently, both Paraka Attack and
Hello?
Great speedruns. Hello.
You cut out right at the good part.
You cut out like both Paraka Attack and great speedruns.
Paraka,
great speedruns.
Paraka Attack and Anika Assault.
There you go.
The ones I was talking about. Yeah. They could be really good speedruns, and I definitely think there's opportunity for like also the handhelds to show up.
Yes, I did want to like submit a handheld run, but I couldn't really get it done. I'm hoping to do so next time if we have a next time this year or
But
maybe next
really
year.
quick, before we move on to the next question, I want to mention, and this is kind of my answer to the hidden fourth question that I'm going to ask a little bit later. One of my goals for the community as a whole is to start pushing people across other lines and start developing some of these underdeveloped games.
Mhm.
That's kind of my big thing right now. Is there is such a huge swath of content that we're just not taking advantage of. Like, and we can even speedrun like high scores and stuff too. Like, people have been doing it for like Donkey Kong for what, 40 years at this point?
Since it came out,
Almost.
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many Bionicle Flash games that are like score based. It's a wonder that nobody's even tried so far. Like,
Oh boy.
and it's not technically a speed run, but at the same time, like, we can just organize a spreadsheet and
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, I can't wait for Twin Galaxies Bionicle Edition.
Jesus, here we go.
But-
But the final question, moving on for the sake of staying hopefully a little more on topic, because I definitely derailed us quite a bit there. IRL BIONIThon.
Yeah, so I thought, well, if you can drag me out of Europe, which you're probably gonna have to do on your own dime, or
By force.
and where you would likely have to convince my parents to actually allow me to go, sure, I would absolutely go there and have a blast.
Absolutely. I definitely think if we're gonna do one, I'm basically just gonna do it out of pocket. We'll do it in my backyard pretty much. Not literally. Because that would be too close to comfort with Ondrick's dream. Which, by the way, we can go down that tangent. a
Oh
little
my
later.
god, yeah, that was extremely funny.
We're gonna skip that one for now. We might make a short out of that or something too. We could totally do that. But like, we'll do it locally here. I'll just like cover everything. I don't know. Like, it's a big logistical situation that we'd need like a multi-year planning phase.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke when I say that, like, it would be so like expensive for just a 1 or 2 day thing. Like, because you got to factor in like plane tickets and like hotel fare, finding a venue that would hold us for 2 days, among other things. Like,
I mean, Classic Games Done Quick was held in Mike Uyama's mother's basement.
I do
that
not
is
have
true.
any family that has a basement, so
I don't have a basement, and I don't think anyone wants to go to Alaska to try to find one either.
Yeah, I'll pass on the
Although I'm
Alaska
not there
bro.
now, I'm not in that hellhole. If we do BIONIThon, we're not meeting up there because we
No.
wouldn't be able to stream.
but I definitely think it's a promising opportunity once we like really start getting in the groove of it. But I'd like to pass that off to y'all. What do y'all think?
Again, if
How long is the drive to Wichita from here?
I would wager probably about 10 to 12 hours.
Fuck it.
I might
You could
have
do it in a day.
I
think Milk
I could
might
do
have
it.
a harder time because he's got to fight with more mountains, but
Yeah.
let me actually check like flights again. I
I
shouldn't
think
be doing
IRL
this,
BIONIThon would
without
be
incognito.
it's a great idea. I have no clue on God's green earth how it's going to work though, which is my
Yeah.
entire take
No,
on that.
you
I think it's a great
specifically-
idea.
you
How's it gonna work?
specifically, we're gonna have to do it early if we want to have you there.
Yeah.
Because you like dip out to Alaska every year. Around the
That
time
might
BIONIThon's
change this
happening.
coming year, so it might be different. I'm
hold
not
your
entirely
breath.
sure, but
He's like, hold your breath for a whole 330 days.
So it would be a 20-hour drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it would be a 15-hour flight.
that's not that bad, yeah.
If you're really creative with your tickets too, you could probably like super cheap out too.
Okay, so the
It'd take
prices
longer,
so,
but
so the prices right now are saying that it would be like $400 something.
that's it.
Supposedly, for a price there and back from the 1st to the 5th of February, if I were to book a flight right now.
Good to know.
Also, yeah, it is
And
just
airfares
about
are
2,000
cheap.
kilometers between me and you.
Jesus. But I don't know. It's something I've been like mulling over. It'd be a really, really fun experience, at least for me. That's kind of my specialty is IRL organization. So when when we started doing these Bionithons, shifting all of that like experience over to online was quite the task for me. Because like you have to, it's an entirely different set of logistics that you wouldn't really know until you try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because like for all intensive purposes, Bionithon is an international event. Like
Mhm.
there's so many people around the world that contribute to this thing that
Oh,
it's
yeah.
honestly insane that it went as well as it did the first time.
yeah, what I wanted to say there was that yes, I would love an IRL Bionicle, and mostly what I'm questioning is like the actual proper viability of it. But yes, please, I would. The other question would be like, how would we ensure like that the setup of everyone is like good? Because not everyone can bring their towers with them, so you would have to ensure that like they have all their proper settings and everything.
I would suggest like just know your settings when you come. Bring your keyboard and mouse, and like we'd supply hardware
Rest,
outside
yeah.
of that. Yeah. Kind of like how Counter-Strike tournaments do it. Except for on such a smaller scale. Because instead of having to do like, fucking 15 setups per match, you just need one, maybe two. If you're super unlucky. But I don't know. We'll kind of play if once we get to that, if we get to that point. I'm not saying that out loud because of copyright claims, but yeah, fair. I think it would be a situation that it wouldn't be too hard to organize. A thing you got to remember too is since we'd be keeping it local to myself, I have plenty of resources that I can exploit to make the situation so much easier. Like all of my connections are here, and they really don't do me any good online. But in person, it's just like, we get the ball rolling real quick. I can talk to like a local game vendor to like get a bunch of excess consoles, TVs, stuff like that. Like I've got my tournament organizer homies that like can pitch in for extra like tables, chairs, stuff like that, just extra stuff that they have on hand. And we could make a whole ass deal out of it too. Like, and I could also use connections via those people to like get cheaper rates on hotels and like stuff like that. It'd be a massive undertaking, but I definitely think it'd be super doable. If we put enough time and effort into it, and I honestly think we could make it happen. But like I said, it's something down the road. It's definitely not a this year, next year, possibly even 3 years now from thing, or 3 years from now thing. It's probably like super late game.
Yeah.
I'm being real with you, but like, I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about. But does anybody else have anything to contribute to that?
Not really. I mean, I've said my
Maybe-
piece.
No, not particularly. Yeah.
Maybe like a GDQ meetup or something.
True.
When am I seeing you
I
at
think
a
that
melee
should
major,
be-
Footloose?
Was that?
When am I seeing you at a melee major?
Hopefully this year. We'll see how that one goes. But
Yeah, but
if I play my cards right, that's gonna be one of my bigger focuses this year. Is one of my homies is like literally grandmaster in ranked, just out here going off without even thinking about it too hard. So like I'm kind of hoping I can push him to get better. Or not like get better, but like just engage more with the tournament scene. And I think we can go, honestly, if he's down and willing, I think we could just major hop all year long if we really wanted to.
Yes.
I think it would be really dope. But there's a lot of prerequisites riding on that potential. So
Mhm.
like it's gonna come down to basically the wire on whether or not that happens. But I'd love to travel a lot more for Melee. But that's violently off topic. If we're good on that topic, I do want to loop back around. What is everybody's goals for their specific game and things that they'd like to see out of the community this year?
What I'm thinking is definitely like push Lawman lower. There's again like 5 minutes of basically free time save. I'm hoping to get like sub 50 maybe by the end of the year, or maybe like early next year. We could have another celebration stream for that, because that's like quite a lot, and in that case we'll be getting, if I do manage to get like a 49 something minute run, if we compare that to BTG, that would be like a top 20 BTG run. It's already is. So yeah, I do feel that at that point, when Lawman really starts to get optimized and you really start to have to incorporate like the very, very, very difficult tricks, that is when the game also has more potential to pop off, because if I do get those tricks, it'll be more visually impressive.
All right, now communities that aren't just one person, what is your response? Also, possibly including the wider community as well as your own.
And now that
takes
we're
and stuff.
removing the Lawman bias from the answers, we hadn't done a Lawman bias joke the entire podcast. We had to do one
We
this
had to
episode.
do one.
It's like a quota we have to meet.
Yep, Andre
already
has to
had
be
heroes
bullied
on
this
top.
much.
Yep. We've satisfied the status quo. We're good now.
There we go. The beast has been fed.
We love you, Andrik. You know it.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead. Good talk. Good talk.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
fine.
Milo
Was that
Clay.
me?
Yes.
Was that me?
It was either of you, but I'll go ahead and go first. I definitely think, like I've already said, kind of what my goals are. I have like a much wider like macro goal with like trying to get everybody to cross the lanes and stuff, and
Mhm.
like develop some of these other games. But like in terms of heroes, I honestly think, like for myself personally, I don't really have a whole lot of goals left with the game itself. I kind of just want to like continue fleshing out the infrastructure and like just start getting things wrapped up, because like I'll be honest with you, I've kind of been not so secretive about the temptation to retire. And like I don't know, honestly, like I flip back and forth on that like fucking 14 times a day. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this shit's hype, and then I'm like, oh well, wait, hold up, my time is up. And then I'm like, no, I'm back. It's like, no, it's kind of too late for that. But like I think I'm at a position where I kind of just want to get everything squared away, like between the document, all like just everything across the board, and then I'll make that decision. Because there's a lot of things, especially with the doc, that just need done. That like I've been putting off for years. At this point, like it's in such a good state right now, but it's just not complete. And there's also so much, like there is next to nothing about 100% on that doc. Like full stop. The only thing, or like I'm the only person who knows a lot of things for 100%. Like, and it just needs to be put out there. But if it does come down to the retirement thing, I don't really know how that's gonna play out. I don't know if that's gonna be a full like send off moment where I like give my resignation and pass the torch or whatever, or like if I just remain and like piss around with other games or whatnot, or it probably won't even happen in 2023 if I'm being completely honest with you. Like a realistic expectation for me to be finished with everything and have everything completely ready to transfer over to somebody in the event that I was about to leave, like Bionicle Speedruns or something like that, I wouldn't see happening until 2025. No shot.
Yeah.
Because there is so much back end shit that like
Yep.
I gotta make sure like the next in line is ready to do it, or like the panel of people, because like truthfully I shouldn't be doing all of the things that I do as one person, but like completely different thing. But in terms of like heroes goals, there really isn't much for me. Like I just kind of want to round out my legacy. I guess I could go after the GameCube PS2 records. I mean, maybe. Playing on controller is a bit annoying for me, especially after having played on keyboard for so long now. That I don't know. We'll play it by ear, see how it happens. But the BTG reps, do you guys have anything
I
you want to
got
throw out there?
I have goals. I definitely have things I want to have happen this year, and stuff that I want to have happen for every community, honestly. So BTG itself, 39 NTS. I want NTS to get sub 40.
Get grinding, please.
Me too.
That's the
too.
small one, though. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's the small goal. That's peanuts. Because you know what I want to do this year?
Motherfuckers looking for 36.
Nah, not a time. I want to get Bionicle. I want to get Bionicle the game at GDQ.
Oh,
And I want to get
hell
every
yeah.
other Bionicle game in GDQ. I want to see heroes. I want to see heroes in there. I want to see Laman in there. I want to see whatever the hell we can get in there. And I'm gunning for it. It doesn't matter who's first, but it matters that we get in, because I think we can do it. Because if these games are as finished as we think they are, then by God, we're going to show them to everybody on this planet.
By
Because it
Modern we
deserves
shall
it.
do it, yeah.
We're going to do it. And I want to get a 39 in NTS, and I want to send BTG to GDQ.
That's a good goal.
That's my goal for this
like
year,
that.
and I think each of you guys that are running these different games can do that too. I think you guys can get it in there.
Right.
Ramen, you were just saying it's a top 20 run time compared to BTG. You can get it in there, 100%. You can.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
it's cool.
Well,
And Heroes, you just hit sub 3 hour. Absolutely, you can get that in there, man. Let's friggin' do it. Let's go crazy.
let's
Let's full
inundate
send
them
it,
with
yeah.
Bionicle game requests.
We're gonna take over GDQ.
Let's go.
That's the goal. Let's take over.
Well,
It's our time. This is our year.
Exactly.
What I want to say regarding goals is thank you, Pootless, for mentioning the dock, because I should also do things on my dock. But kind of in a sense regarding GDQ, and I'm sorry for derailing this.
Let me butt in here real quick. I'm fully
Go.
prepared for when Andre gets to speak that he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna disregard the doc this year. I'm just gonna put it off for another year.
But I,
All right, I don't need to talk. I'm good. You got it. You covered everything.
Andre, you go answer the question for gold, because I have something else to say a little bit later. But no.
Goals. I want to branch out more. So I already started that into Monog. Kind of want to continue that into some different games. Kind of looking at a Heroes console and PC, but also Heroes DS that only has one run,
Yeah.
and I have a DS that I can actually run on console and capture it. So that would be something I would be able to do, hopefully, and grab another record to my name.
Do you have any macro goals for BTG as a whole?
we'll
Especially
find
since you're
out.
in a leadership position.
We'll find out. None at the moment, really. Kind of just want to put that in the back burner for a little while. Because nothing really pressing right now. I think Milk's got a much better chance of doing anything than I do, because I've been out of practice for a while.
Yeah. I think in terms of heroes, in that sense, I think my biggest thing that I'm like trying to optimize for this year is just growth.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make like I'm at or heroes is at the point where we're like making the quality of life developments. So that way it's just easier to pick up the game across the board.
Mhm.
Especially with like so much interest or like maybe not even interest, but just like glances at the game. Like the more chances we have to like pull somebody in just because it's so easy, I think the better.
Yes.
That's probably my biggest goal for 2023 is like figure that out. Cuz like we're part of the way there. Solid maybe 50-40% somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Cuz there's just a whole bunch of documentation that needs done and I
Yes.
just need to start going off.
I
also
very-
want to stream in terms of personal goals as well. I just want to stream more.
same.
Yeah, me too. I want to stream more. I want to get some more Monog under my belt.
I'm just gonna start running the hell out of bingo.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that too.
Cause that
But
like
now
that's a good time.
Yes.
Literally developments coming yesterday and today from Hex, getting the debug text on GameCube. I'm gonna be glitch hunting quite a bit, so
Yeah. I
I
mean,
may be able to find some new stuff.
he literally like sent a thing while we were recording this podcast.
Mhm.
So
I
it's,
scrolled up and looked and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
messaged him yesterday and he got back to me earlier about me getting my hands on that mod.
yeah.
And once he's got it cleaned up and like releasable.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I
was
got the
uh,
practice ROM fixed up yesterday and I honestly count that as a huge W for me.
yeah, I also like started up Plumbin again, and I'm hoping I'm really optimistic for tricks and hoping to find like good setups for them. So I'm thinking I'll probably get to a serious running maybe tomorrow. But there was a thing that I wanted to say earlier, and we might cut this from the podcast final recording or not. But all with Milkblade talking about GDQ, and I have seen a few of the like the threads and looked at a few of the runs, and I don't know if GDQ is still like a big event, but I don't really know if it can get the same vibes as before. It is
Yeah, we definitely have to play by their rules when we go out there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
we
it's
definitely
their
run
it's
I
their
have-
Bionathon.
thing.
yeah.
We definitely run Bionathon a lot faster and looser than something
yeah.
Yes.
that they would, but they have like full on sponsors. They're raising money for charity all the time, so like it's just a different beast.
Yeah.
And
1.6 million this year.
Yeah, mostly what I
Jesus.
like meant was that people were talking about how like during a run of a game, they spent like over half of the run just hyping up incentives for a completely different game and basically not letting the commentators say anything. And I feel like if a Bionicle game was subjected to that, it would just not be able to like hold itself up. Because there are many tricks that would require explaining, and if you get like somebody every 5 minutes reading donations, it's
Yeah,
kind of a big flow killer, and especially like if you have people hyping up a completely different game just to get the incentive, I would say that if I were in that position, that would be extremely demoralizing for me.
I'll be honest with you, I'd just be excited that we were there.
I'll be too. Yeah.
I guess
I
that's
don't-
another way
the,
to think
the
of
goal
it.
with that
certainly.
is to be, it's definitely there to be like, oh, we because that's the event of, oh, that's a speedrun at GDQ. That's kind of the goal of it, is just to kind of be there and get the publicity of it. But there's definitely, I get what you mean there because me just knowing myself, if I'm enjoying running Bionicle in front of a couple thousand people or something, and someone is talking about, oh, we'll raid Shadow Legends. If someone starts doing that while I'm talking about the game, oh, they would have to cut the feed. They would have to cut the camera because I would be sadly saying some shit.
Yeah,
I'm not a very hinged person. I would put the keyboard, the controller down, and I go, "You were talking about what?" As I'm in the middle of this run. Shut the hell up, bitch.
Come
This is
into
Bionicle
my
time.
run. Talk about a different game.
I would be. I'm the shit
Yeah, I
post
did
of this
hear-
community, and I will be the bad guy who does all that just because
My
I'm an
God, I will
ass.
shitpost.
Andre,
I did hear some of that stuff did happen at this GDQ, but Some of it may be able to be chalked down to online and like stream delay. So like just things not lining up, so like people were talking over each other. But
yeah, I guess that could definitely be it. But it's certainly something where I would want to like see it.
a bit
I
of
am
an
losing
improvement on,
words.
yeah.
But,
English hard
I mean,
moment.
that's fair. It's been like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
but
this is definitely a long ass podcast.
Yeah.
Anybody who's still hanging out, watching, we greatly appreciate you.
You're the best.
And we definitely won't judge you if you're watching this at 2 times speed. I definitely think I sound better at 2 times speed.
I watch
know
all
about
of
y'all.
my videos at 2.5 times speed after I got a YouTube extension or a Firefox extension that allows me to do that.
I would watch when I had to watch videos for college. I would put them on 2 times speed and then just take brief notes and then just
Yep.
not care.
Yep, I did the same. I did the same for my exams. Oh, speaking of, BIONIThon ended on and on the same day. I think it was on the same day where I had an exam. So it was
Jesus, I
really
forgot
funny.
about that.
So I literally the run ended, the event ended at like 4 a.m. and I went to sleep because I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed. I think I woke up at like 9 or 10 a.m. and the exam was at 4 p.m. So I just had the time, but it was still.
Getting everybody
Fun
together
times.
this year was kind of a gauntlet.
Yes, Andre
It was
literally
good.
asked to delay it by 1 day, and that threw many things out of whack.
And then that
Yeah,
didn't even
'cause-
matter.
Well, hey, look.
I'm just screwing around. We don't have to go into it if you don't want to.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't care. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of need this. Like on a day I can do it and like I can be there because work. I was a manager, so I couldn't like getting weekends off wasn't the easiest thing to do. And then I got laid off, and I was like, well, open schedule.
Like you thought. But yeah. Does anybody have anything else? Because I think this is honestly good.
Yeah, I think we're-
Closing remarks, thoughts, prayers.
Discord, Twitter, Twitch, links in description. Go follow
True.
and join.
Hopefully on screen. Also, you can just straight up use Linktree. Our Bionicle Speedruns Linktree. linktr.ee/Bionicle_speedruns. You can find literally everything there. You can join Discord. You're already on the YouTube, so just hit the subscribe button down below. We don't post a whole lot, so we won't annoy you too much. So
Post more.
If
That's
you
a
wanna-
good.
If you
The
want to
Twitch
catch us
we probably
live
use less
on
even-
Twitch, our individual Twitches, because that's where
yeah,
you'll probably
true.
see us the most.
That's a thing too. Which, by the way, Andrik, I think I'm just gonna have to like go ahead and do anyway, despite the fact that you don't like it. We need to get the main Twitch to affiliate status.
Well,
And,
then run some events.
There's no shot we will be able to have 7 days straight of events. Like it is just never going to happen.
All right.
I don't think you quite understand the affiliate requirements. I think it's just time that somebody hunkers down, like we throw Milkblade at it or something, and he just goes buck wild.
Well,
Don't worry, guys.
fine then. Yeah, I guess we do
like-
have to do that.
I feel like Milkblade is the most cheaty option there because like he just pulls numbers. This man's
They're
doing
doing
numbers.
Numbers.
Yay!
We had another
I like-
quote
I
for
like
a joke
being
we needed to
numbers.
make in the podcast.
The
Nice.
Nullpo numbers. We need to somehow make that an emote.
The goddamn.
The
All right, I think we're good.
yeah.
Bonks. We've devolved into stonks memes. I think we can end for today.
You foul creature!
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me a lot of editing work to do.
You are welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely, in such a short burst as well.
What else are we here for if not that?
God.
Done everything but
yeah.
scream Takua.
Oh my god!
Takua!
Oh god.
Alright, yeah, this is.
I'm sorry that I
We
failed
can't
all
go
of
any
you
further.
again.
Well,
yeah.
when we've devolved into quoting the movies, it's time. All right.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I
gonna
think
have to
that's a
wrap this
wrap,
up.
boys.
That's a wrap, everyone. Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. These are always really fun to do. I wish we
Yeah.
did more of them, but it kind of comes down to like timing and just
Yeah.
having something to talk about. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll play
Absolutely.
around with it.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about ideas for other
anyway,
episodes. Man.
Yeah. We
True,
need
true.
guests. We absolutely fucking need guests.
I mean, we
Um,
could probably do, not to extend the time, but we could probably do segments on whether like the different minute pairs that get broken and stuff. Like we can
Yeah.
do like a short one about like sub-hour
Yeah.
lawmen. We can do 3-hour
Mhm.
heroes. We can do 37 and the minute barriers from BTG.
Absolutely. Yeah. We could have the celebration streams be like special episodes of the podcast.
And they don't all have to be 2+ hours long. They can be like we can do like a 45-minute
We can
hour
do a
segment.
4-hour podcast if that is what we want to do.
We can do whatever the hell we want.
Exactly.
I'm just glad we're having a good time.
Yeah, me too. This is
Yeah, man.
always awesome to do, even if getting everyone on the voice chat can be a bit difficult at times, but it's always worth it.
I
mean, you guys-
say it in the end of the podcast.
So, well,
You
hey,
you
I
guys
got
saw the- you
thrown
guys
shit.
saw the
I have to
meme.
throw back.
You guys saw the meme though. I threw it up. That's the energy for this year is just I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. BIONIThon 2022 is over. We got VODs. Check it out. Playlist will probably be linked below.
Probably also on the end screen if I don't forget.
We'll see about that one. But yeah. Anyway, this has been Footloose, who you can also find on Twitch at twitch.tv/Super Mario 64ZX353.
Yeah, this has been.
God damn it, you guys are great at this.
This has
Alright,
been.
yay,
Hey,
yeah.
I have been like trying. So this has been Andre, whom you can find on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nordkey.
We talked about this.
I've been Milkblade. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Milkblade. Yeah.
And I've been Andre. You can find me everywhere. Same name. Yeah.
We're signing off. We'll see you guys in another 30 years.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
See ya.